on this computer. I think we're recording.
All right.
All right. Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, you know.
There's the smile.
Yeah, you know.
Just
It's
nothing.
only the end of the world again.
Oh man.
No big deal. These things happen all the time.
Right. Every 4 years for the next rest of our lives.
Every 4 years forever.
Yep.
It's okay. It's not okay. It's like the opposite of okay. But anyhow.
Greece is really nice, you know?
Huh?
Greece is very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you like Greece? You know, my wife went to Greece a few years back, maybe, God, it had to be like 8 years ago now. And she has been saying ever since, Athens, Athens, Athens.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Ireland, maybe Ireland, England. You know, I'm so linguistically ignorant that I would feel bad being in Athens, in this place with like a rich super culture, you know, thousands of years history, and I'm like, hi, I'm from New Jersey, you know.
But you pick up stuff, you know, like when I'm pick up stuff, I'm shy to use it, but
That's it.
You know, I kind of comprehend some things here and there, and
Yeah.
But the music scene there, dude.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
You know,
It's Athens.
Really
Unstoppable.
epicenter of fucking rock, you know.
I have the emails to prove it. Those people are in touch.
Yeah, and the support is just insane. Everybody loves going to shows.
Yeah.
You know, men, women, everybody's all in, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Also, the Netherlands is on my list, so we'll see. Have to open the borders to let us out first.
That's the thing.
Always something. Let's talk about Kind.
All right.
For a little bit. Talk about Kind for a little bit. Then we can go back to speculating about the end of the world. Mental Nudge. You got the title from Leanne. Leanne from Riff Relevant. Is that true? Did I see that the other day?
She like laid that phrase on Daryl.
Okay.
And we joked about a song called Mental Nudge. You know, we sort of named the song before that we wrote the song. We were like, we have to have a song called Mental Nudge. And then we were trying to come up with the name for the record, and we bounced a bunch of things around, and as things got picked off by one or two of us in the band or whatever, all of a sudden we were just like, hey man, you know what? Mental Nudge, that's a freaking great name right there. So I think it's the first time that I've ever been on a record, and I've got like, you know, 14 or 15 records out or whatever. And this is the first time I think that there's ever been White Dynomite had a song called White Dynomite.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's it. There goes your, right.
Yeah, that just hurt my brain right there.
Just too much discography. You Riggs oov. Too much. Anyway. Second record, obviously, you know, the first, I guess, Rocket Science was 2016, right? So a few years, and everybody's situations kind of change, right? You know, you're in Sasquatch, Darrow's doing the Black Wolf Goat thing and other stuff, but Razumov's not really at, Matt's out of Elder. What was it like putting this album together as opposed to Rocket Science? Did you have a little bit more of an idea of what Kind sounds like?
I think that when we were sort of writing and putting this record together, there was like, you know, it was the crossover from Matt being an Elder to not being an Elder, you know, and then so there was sort of like things were fluctuating, you could tell, and I will say that this record, in the same way that Rocket Science came together, is things in this band just sort of fall into place, in a way, because there's really there's no one to say no, right? Which is very unique in a band. Like everybody pretty much so. Like if you have an idea, it's like, all right, well, that's what you're gonna do then, you know? So onward and upward, here we go. So
Okay.
you know, like I put more background vocals on this record, and nobody said anything, you know. I just did it, and nobody said like, hey, you can't do that. So and that's sort of been the MO of this band, is that there's no real like you can't do that. So that makes it really fun. And so I think with that, this record, maybe there was some people sort of reached out a little bit further because they figured they could, because you know, we weren't sure the first record how far we could reach out and without getting shut down, you know. And then we realized on this one, well, you can really go pretty far, so give it a shot. Why not, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, your the vocals, the arrangements was something I wanted to talk to you about too, because it seems like you really did kind of flesh it out more this time, more melodically, more sort of. You've always kind of had effects in kind, but more spacious, kind of working with the atmosphere of the songs.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of digging into that process? How much of that was in the studio versus thought out beforehand? When did it kind of come in?
I think everything really was kind of thought out in a way beforehand, because I basically what I do is, you know, we get the basis of a song together, and then I dump it into GarageBand, and then I sit there on my Mac in my office with just the mic on the computer, and then GarageBand the songs together and see, you know, what I come up with. And then I try to, I always feel as though that like that's the best version of it, and then I try to recreate it when we go into the studio, and I'm like always trying to chase that thing that I did on the stupid GarageBand track, you know. So I think a lot of it was figured out in advance. I think maybe the things that I'm listening to when I was trying to write vocal lines for this record were more melodic. You know, I was doing a lot of like.
Come on, you set yourself up. Out with it. Let's go.
You can tell this is going to be embarrassing, right?
Do it. Come on.
I was listening to a lot of Morrissey. No.
Yeah.
No. I was listening to like Noel Gallagher,
Okay.
you know, and I love his melodies. You know, what can you say? You know, you can think Oasis is shit if you want, but you can't deny the melodic fact that shit gets stuck in your head and you're walking around with this stupid song, you know, in there.
It's true.
So I think I was listening to a lot of that, and I think I also tried to not sing at the top of my register the whole damn record too, you know. That was kind of a conscious effort as well.
Did you feel like Rocket Science you were doing that?
There was a lot of fucking ball pinching,
Just belting it out.
fucking what, you know. So I think I wanted to reel it in a little bit, and then when you reel it in like that, then all of a sudden you kind of find these space for more interesting melodies, you know.
So if you're taking the songs and kind of piecing things together in GarageBand, and then you go into, and then what, you leave your office and go into the studio, like
I walk all of 100 feet
right there. Yeah, exactly. Why not just use the GarageBand tracks? Who's going to tell you no? Right?
Well, they're done on the. I've thought about it a couple times, but they're done on that shitty mic on an iMac or whatever the hell, you know.
So what?
Right.
Dude, yeah. People make records with shitty mics and iMacs hourly.
Right. You know, for what it's worth, it's not like I upped it that much. I just sang into an SM7, which is like, you know, $150 mic or whatever.
Right, there you go. So, I'm just thinking if that's, you know, if you wind up with something that you like and then you're chasing it later.
Right. Yeah, it is weird, but I think it probably, it's like rough mixes. When you hand a band in the studio rough mixes and they go home and listen to them, and then you mix the record, they're like, well, this sounds like shit. They want to hear the rough mixes. So it's like, why even mix it? So you always believe the first version of the song that you hear is the best, right? It's like true with cover songs and stuff like that. If you hear uh, you know a Faces cover of a Temptation song or whatever, you like the Faces version. But if you hear the Temptations one first, you're going to go like, oh shit, no way, So it's the same way with vocals. So like maybe I'm thinking that it's the best damn thing in the world, but everybody in the band's going like, yeah, nah, this one over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I see.
But maybe I'll send you one of the rough versions like that just to see what you think. It's pretty funny.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to listen to it. I'd be like, this is way better.
Yeah.
No.
You should have put this one on the record.
Or I'm going to be like, this one sucks. I like the one I've already heard.
Yeah.
You guys, you did all the recording in January, so you kind of got in pre-lockdown, right? Is that?
Yep.
Pretty fortunate.
Right. Yeah. It's funny, like, Sasquatch, we did a record in December, and then Kind, we did one in January, and well, the Sasquatch.
Well, it's like you knew. It's like you knew everything was about to come down.
Yeah.
Good for you. It's like, we got to squeeze these in.
It's funny because I got, like, when we first started into this in January in the studio, I wasn't feeling well, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, there's some bug going around.
Wow.
Well, she actually said there's some virus going around in January. And I don't know.
It was true. It was true. It was going around. It's amazing. What a great line. There's some virus going around.
Yeah. Just a little thing. It's not going to fuck up the world.
Wow. All right. So what's the situation at Mad Oak now? For anyone watching this who doesn't know, Greg's owns Mad Oak Studios, co-owns Mad Oak Studios. You're talking about your office. Office is at Mad Oak Studios. For anyone who's seeing this who doesn't already know this, I will probably say that in the intro to this video, though, because we're.
Yeah.
So I didn't read that. Fuck you. Anyway. So what's the situation like at Mad Oak now? Because things locked down. I've seen pictures of people in the studio with masks.
A whole lot of mask stuff going on for sure. And then we have like, ultraviolet light stuff for microphones and keyboards and the headphone amps, and we shoot temperatures, and a lot of interns that are like wiping down doorknobs all the time and all that. And but we've been pretty lucky with having a run of clients for over 6 months now, where it's been 1 to 2 people, or they're mixing and they're not even there. Like Benny's mixing and then he sends it to them,
Okay.
So we've lucked out with that, and hopefully this little surge that we're having here isn't gonna fuck that whole thing up, because I know there's a lot of plans for full bands right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, it seems like, in the beginning, so much was, back in like March, April, so much was like, well, we'll postpone until the fall.
Right.
Or we'll postpone until early next year. Now it's like, we'll postpone until 2025.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I do think that people are writing music like crazy right now, though.
It's true. There's there has been no slowdown in the amount of stuff coming out.
Right. Except Sasquatch. Got to get that.
Hey, the record's done.
Done. It's just.
And I'm just gonna say this. Send me the fucking record. There. I said it. I felt compelled to say it.
And Anthony down in Australia too. He's like sending Cass, drunken emails, demanding to hear it.
It offends me deeply in my soul to know that there's a new Sasquatch record and I haven't heard it. I'm hurt. No,
Doesn't even send it to me. I don't have it.
that's amazing. Oh, all right, fine. Context. Mental Nudge. You guys did Mental Nudge with Alec Rodriguez, who did Rocket Science too. Was there any particular reason, anything about Rocket Science that made you want to repeat?
I think I can say this freely, and with everybody in kind on board with this is, Alec is an extension of the band. There's no doubt. I don't think we would have any intention of using anybody else for any records coming up or anything, because he once again, that whole sort of there's no anything will fly. He's down. Put it on the damn record and see if it sticks, And he did a lot of stuff in mixing where, he took some liberties, with like synth sounds and stuff like that, where they're coming in and where they're coming out. I think atmospherically, this record, it has this kind of like, groovy path, and he's a big part of that, the mixing. And
I would say, you guys have your fast songs. You have fast number 2, certainly. But one thing that kind of struck me in listening, or has struck me, continued in listening, is the kind of interplay between atmosphere and kind of that forward go 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 go.
Right.
You guys balance the longer songs against the shorter songs, and there is kind of that overarching flow and groove.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about putting the record together, and kind of were you thinking of the whole album atmosphere when the songs were done and you're kind of piecing it together, or did it just kind of happen?
I think that it probably has more to do with Daryl, the arrangement like that, because I'm horrible at trying to sequence a record. So I go like, I'm out, if it was my choice, it would have been completely different and I would have been wrong, So,
well, what would you have done?
Shit, I'd have to think about that. I wanted, I think I wanted Mental Nudge as like the second song, and yeah, I don't know. I think I just had different ideas, but then I also don't own a record player, right? So when it comes to vinyl, I'm like, what do you mean you have to think about one side and the other? I don't know, So that's another thing. Daryl was like, well, look, we could switch this around, but it has to come out on a piece of vinyl and it's got to be both sides. So,
right.
And I think that played into it. But now when I listen to the record, and I can say this because it has nothing to do with me, I think the sequencing is perfect. It really, like you said, there's like, it kind of, the longer songs, the shorter songs, the speed and all that. I think it landed just right. Once again, had nothing to do with me.
It's fortunate that it all worked out. Very glad. You guys recorded a stream that's airing like in 2 days.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Okay, so tell me about it. You were at Once in Somerville, right? The Once Ballroom.
Yep.
In Somerville, a lovely place. The stage, the upstairs room.
Yeah.
Nice spot. You guys in Set Fire, and who?
I think they, like, when we went to record it, it was us and Set Fire, like, and not at the same time.
Okay.
We never even saw them. And then I think they've added things since then that I'm not actually even sure of yet.
Okay.
Because I think it's a benefit for Once. It's a benefit for Aaron, I believe, too, and Gray Skull.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's I think they're putting a show together. So it's going to be sort of like a good length of fun shit, you know. Yep. I of course, like I sing through that crazy pedal, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I took some liberties that I probably shouldn't have, so there could be some really weird shit going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
We'll see. You know, once again, I wish I got to hear it before it came out, you know, but I don't know. We'll see. I heard little bits of it, but I haven't actually like heard the whole thing. So,
All right. Is it, well, okay. So we've established that there is a Riggs discography at this point. 15 albums, like you say, some such, whatever it is. Plus that hidden secret Sasquatch record that
yes.
There's this whole Riggs discography. I'm assuming this is the first record you've ever put out when you can't play live.
Right.
How does that feel?
This one in particular is killing us because we all are really proud of the record. We all collectively have just such an incredibly good, positive feeling about the record and everything that we just wish we could take it out and show people. You know, we did a practice, 2 weeks ago or whatever, and we just played the record front to back, and it was so much fun. And we have this like like going back to that whole thing with Matt, this is Matt's band now,
Yeah.
Before it was a thing that he could do when he wasn't insanely busy, so we just have a feeling like we just wish we could be taking this out and going to Europe and doing all that stuff, and it's killing us. It's pretty funny because a lot of times you get done a record and you just don't want to. You're like, all right, we're down. I don't want to see you for another 2 or 4 months or whatever. But this one here, we're like, it's out. We just wish we could be playing right now. Yeah.
What do you do with that? What do you do with that energy?
I think that I've tried to sit out in my driveway and drink Mai Tais as much as possible.
I saw you had the heater.
I got the heater.
Really ups the game for that Boston winter.
I need a tent or something, I think, to contain the heat. But I don't know. I think it's just really like Dave Unger was here just a little while ago and a couple days ago, and he was walking up the driveway, and I said to him, it just hit me today. This fucking sucks. It was like boom, right into a wall. And so I think that the pressure of not being able to go and play shows and do the thing that I've been doing since I was 15.
Yeah.
This is easily the longest I've gone without playing a show, or since I was freaking 15. It's killing. Brutal.
Yeah. No, I would.
Yeah.
I've said a couple times, sort of written it out, but it's a bummer year for everybody, right? It's a special kind of bummer for good records.
Right.
Like you're saying, you put out an awesome album, big step forward from the first one, and I liked Rocket Science, right? A lot.
Yeah.
And you got this one. It's kind of it's a more solid sound. You guys sound like you know what you're going for. As you said, kind of branching out melodies and things like this, and really kind of feeding that atmosphere. And then
right.
And then it's out, and what?
Right.
And
the feedback has been so good that that it's like it really feels like if we were able to play shows, the shows would be better than they were a year ago, 2 years ago, because now the feedback has been great. And,
Right.
and man, I just wish we could take it to the people that are digging it this much, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say that, like coming up in December 1st, Matt's moving closer to town here. And we are kind of joking around the idea about, fuck it, let's just do another record, you know? Cause, you know, a little thing about Daryl can shit songs out all fucking day long, man. The guy is one of the most prolific people I've ever met in my life, if not the.
Yeah.
And so I think that we could probably do something fun and maybe even like, you know, dig in deeper. Who knows, you know? So.
I mean, you know, it's quick, obviously, but in the absence of the other, right? I mean, in the absence of playing live, I think it kind of makes sense to, you know, if that's the opportunity you can get to kind of push forward, why not?
Right. I think that's what Nick is doing, you know, Elder.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're
that's right. Yeah, they're back in the studio already. You're going back. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think that's the thing that could like keep the creative juices going, and since you can't do the live thing, just fucking write and record, you know. Did you hear about the election?
No. Was there a thing?
I don't know.
Sorry. No, what? So what was it? O'Brien's is still there, right?
Yeah.
I was reading about what was the one that just closed?
Great Scott.
Great Scott. Yeah, I was reading about the Great Scott closing. And did they sell the Middle East?
No. That's been one of those things where it's like I mean, first of all, they want insane amounts of money for
right.
them. So it's and maybe they'll get it someday, but it's not happening yet.
Okay.
The Great Scott thing is they might be moving over to the old Pizzeria Regina building, and so that could be a massive step up.
Yeah. All right.
And Carl, he was booked O'Brien's and Great Scott, and he's now taking the championing the cause for Great Scott. He's gonna be the owner guy running it, and he's doing kick-ass stuff to make it happen.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. You know, I you know, where I lived in Massachusetts when we lived up there, it was kind of hard for me to get to town as much as I would have. But you know, it always kind of struck me how Boston had this culture. You know, Boston is a city with its own culture for sure. And yet at the same time, it was so hard for these venues to exist. You know, it seemed like the town was so hell-bent on college and on this college or that college and kind of Boston Fine Arts that it kind of forgot about the people actually, you know, making that art. And you see condos go up and constantly. And you know, with the fucking pandemic and everything, it's feel bad. I feel bad for someone running a small venue in Boston.
Right.
Not that I don't in New York, but shit, you know, it's hard enough as it was in Boston to make something happen.
Right.
And I tried when I moved there. I tried, you know, I was trying to open a venue and fucking
right.
You know.
Yeah, I think that you know, Tim Katz and I joke about when a club closes in Boston or whatever, because everybody goes like, oh my God, this is the end of the whole city. You know, Great Scott's gone. The city will never come back from this. And, and it's, you know, there was Jumpin' Jack Flash, the Rat, there was clubs in Cambridge. Harvard Square had like 2 or 3 clubs back in the day. You know, there's all these venues, and when one closes, one opens up, and somehow or another, and it's is it a smart investment in the city of Boston? Fuck no. It's a dumb idea, but people do it, and more power to them, but it's actually funny that there's a place called the Wonder Bar, which is over here, it's right next to Great Scott.
Okay.
On Harvard Ave, and it used to be called Bun Ratties. And back in the day, I was there freaking 5-6 nights a week, and that place just became available. Called them up. I was like, hey, you want to rent the place out? And they want some insane amount of money, but it was kind of funny to talk to them about the idea of like resurrecting Bun Ratties,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that. I got enough shit going on.
Probably the wise choice. Go make another record instead. Yeah. Can you? Well, I guess if that might be the plan, that's good to know. Do you have any? Are you guys talking at all about like what next year will look like for Kind beyond maybe a new record?
Well, yeah, I reached out to Reese over there about Does Fest London, and he was like, I don't think so. Like, he just doesn't think it's going to happen. No, probably right.
Yeah.
But then there's, maybe Belgium, right? Desert Fest Belgium, and so maybe I'm going to reach out to Reese about that, or Ludo, and see about that. It's same thing as Sasquatch. Like we were supposed to be in Europe in June and July, and then now that got pushed a year, but that's way up in the air right now because nobody can really hone in on there's no button to push on this, so as soon as it's humanly possible, Ben Ward there from Orange Goblin just started up his new
I saw that.
The second I saw that, I was sent him a text. I was like, dude, put Kind on your roster.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, oh, good for Ben. Yeah. I mean, I know he's worked booking forever, and I know you guys are close, obviously. I know he's worked booking and management forever. It's good for him to start his own thing, but a hell of a time to start a booking concern, right? But
maybe he's the guy that's like, we'll all be like, son of a bitch, we should have done that.
Maybe Ben's getting in on the ground floor. Shit,
right? I think Mad Oak booking. Look out. Fuck.
You and branding, man. That's everything. It's fine. Yeah. All right, dude. I don't want to keep you. I know you have a busy day of going back and refreshing the news over and over again, as I do. I gotta go pick the kid up at preschool in a little bit, but
that'll. That's a good. That's a nice take you away from the election shit.
Yeah. Yesterday was pretty tense with whatever, but and he's 3, so it's like the house is tense, and he doesn't really understand it, but it feeds into him. So all of a sudden he's like punching you, and it's your own fault. You're tense. You're tense.
You can't even get mad.
Yeah, that's it. So
take it.
Ups and downs.
Right.
But anyway, all right. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate you taking the time.
All right, brother.
And we will talk soon.
All right, man.
I'm going to stop the recording now. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2,